Hi, man, with eTrailer. If you have a 2018 Buick Encore and you're looking for a rack that's gonna be really easy to store in your garage and really just take it in and off of your vehicle, then the Thule Epos bike rack will be a great option for you. So let's check it out. So a few things I want to point off as soon as possible is going to be this weight capacity. It's going to be 75 pounds per bike, but if you have two on here, then it's going to be a total of 140 pounds. So just make sure you stay within those confines, and also so you don't overload your hitch. So I recommend just checking what your vehicle and hitch are rated for. Another thing I want to check out is how close we are sitting to our vehicle. So we have a decent amount of space here, and even if you're on those really bumpy roads, and I'm checking this pretty hard, we're nowhere close. Now if you had some extra long handlebars, they might make contact, but it's not going to be very likely. And the rest of our bike is going to have a lot of clearance. Now, if we want to take a closer look at more of how it's sitting back here, I want to show you how it's going to tilt back. And I'm just going to push on this foot pedal at the bottom. This is really easy to use, and the way this pivots, even if you have those really heavy e-bikes back here, it's not too hard to maneuver. And this is going to give you the ability to open up your hatch. And having hatch access is great if you want to either load it up with some groceries or whatever you're going to the store for, or if you want to get ready for your ride, grabbing your helmet, your shoes, and then tying them right here. You'll have that ability. Once you're done with that, you can close this back up and we can take this bike off. And to do that, I'm going to put this back into the seated position, and really I can just move this with one arm because it's at a great pivot point. Now to really take this off, what I like to start off with is going to be with these straps. You're going to have one on each tire. You can press in on that. That'll release the strap, tuck it away. Go over to the other side, repeat that same process. Now this also can ratchet down if you pull it the opposite direction. That's something I do like about this. You can really cinch this down into place. And then finally, we're going to come over to the center. And this is going to be hooked onto our frame. You can actually cinch this onto your back tire if you want it to be contactless free with your frame. And that's going to be great if you have any carbon frame, alternative frame, or any bikes with a really nice paint job. And from here, you just lift it up, pulling it towards you, and then you can take it out for a ride. Now we can take a closer look at these cradles, and if you notice, these are actually going to be kind of curved. And that's doing a couple things for us. It's allowing us to have a wider range of wheelbases, and since it's curved, if you do choose to invest in a ramp for this, you can actually put that at the end of here, and it's just going to make that transition a little bit smoother. And of course, you want to make sure you put these straps up, because I don't like mine dangling around. You can put it in that location, or the second location you could do is going to be this pocket here, where you don't have to deal with it ratcheting into place. And of course, putting down this center mass, it'll ratchet into itself, and you can put this up too. And at the very end, you'll also notice it has a lock cord just for some extra security. Now with this, in this position, we can get a few measurements. The first measurement I like to get is going to be the overall distance. And this is going to stick out right about at 28 inches, which is actually pretty good for a 2 bike rack, especially since this foot pedal is sticking out a little bit more. And we can also get another measurement that's going to include that foot pedal, and that's going to be our ground clearance. This is going to be a little bit over 12 inches. So if you are loading this up with a lot of heavy bikes, that's probably going to drop down a little bit. But in most cases, you should be fine. Now, if you're going up a really steep hill, just keep an eye on this rack to make sure you don't make ground contact. Now, a lot of racks will have a secondary position where you can fold this up. This one actually doesn't. It does have a secondary position, but it's not meant for driving. This one is meant for storing in your garage. So when you fold it up like this is taking up less of a footprint, so you don't have to worry about it taking up all your garage space. But again, only meant for your garage, not for driving. So I'm going to put that back down. And now we can take a closer look at how this is interacting with the back. And just like this isn't blocking anything. Now, of course, you are going to pick this up in your backup camera. That's fine, you're gonna wanna see that so you don't hit anything with this. But your license plate, your backup camera, and your taillights won't be obstructed. And then finally, I wanna take a closer look at how this is gonna install. So if we look right here, you're gonna notice we have a 1.25" shank. And it's gonna go into an 1.25" receiver. Now this also comes with a 2-inch sleeve adapter, so if you have a 2-inch receiver, this will work too. You just need to make sure that is installed. And it's gonna have this pin hook. I'm a big fan of this. It makes this process really easy to take in and out. You just need to make sure everything's fully loosened up. And the way you loosen everything up is, if we look at the back side of it, I might even pull this up so you can get a better look at it. We're gonna have this lever right here. And this actually swings around and you can tighten this into place. And it's gonna work as an anti-rattle device, so this isn't shaking around in your receiver. And it's gonna have a lock cord at the very end. That's gonna be the same key system as your center mass lock cord, just so it gives you extra security. But this is pretty easy to use. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but after when you figure it out, nice and easy to store. And then we're gonna have some wheels. And these wheels are great for when you are taking it in and out or just moving it in general. Just so if you have issues lifting up anything heavy, it's gonna make that process a lot easier to do. Now in my opinion, I think this is a great option if you are looking for that storage rack. Maybe something you don't have back here full time, you're taking it on and off a lot. Now if you're looking for another more affordable option, I'd recommend the Shifts & Grin Benton Bike Rack. Because what's great about that is it's going to be a little bit bigger and you're going to have a little more space between your bikes too, so they won't be making as much contact. Now the one downside to that is that rack is pretty heavy compared to this one, and it doesn't have any wheels to make that process easier. So that's where I think this one really stands out a little bit more. But really just going to depend on what your situation is and what you want to deal with. But again, that was just a look at the Thule Epos bike rack on the back of our 2018 Buick Encore. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.